Okay, so what do we know about our sewing machine? The sewing machine is a wonderful invention. We give props to the person who invented it. I always give thanks to the Lord for everything. So on this one is a basic sewing machine, and this one has really brought me through, and it does wonders. Your sewing machine will really do good for you, and it will become your best friend if you treat it well. Keep it well oiled and cleaned and serviced, and I will also be showing you in later videos how to do that as well. Okay, so what we know, first thing we need to do is learn how to work it, and the first thing you need to do is on the machine there is a place on the side. On this one there's a little button down here, and it's your on and off switch. Okay, you want to be able to keep this plugged. If it doesn't work, or if it comes to a point where you can't figure out why it's not going, kind of make sure this is plugged in, because sometimes when you're working it does come unplugged. And of course you have the power plug, and then you have the other one that goes to foot pedal. Foot pedal is the one that controls all the action, and everything goes to your machine. And 9 times out of 10, if you've learned to use a car, you can use a machine, because its similarities are the same. The only thing you have to remember is when you're driving in a car, your steering wheel is your hands here. Okay, this is a no-no zone. We do not put our hands in here for any reason whatsoever. Once you get highly advanced, you can know where to put your fingers and stuff. So if you see me put my fingers in there, please forgive me. I will try my hardest to be as advanced, not as advanced, but as basic as I can, so you can see as I go along and do as I do. On this machine you'll have a lot of different functions. On this one it has your basic straight stitch. If you can see that when it focuses. If it doesn't, I'm so sorry. You have different ones will do different things. This one right here does a tight stitch, this one does a medium stitch, and this one does longer stitches. Stitches that will, go from here and here, depending on what you're doing. If you really just want to hem a garment or something, this one's good. If you want durability, you're going to do the real tighter stitches. Medium is for, I use that sometimes for, underneath arm, or just something I want a little bit extra, but I don't want too much of a tight stitch. Okay, on this one you have your basic to where you can make your buttonholes, and we will be learning that. Also, it shows your different type stitches. This one's good for beginners because it gives you the color. As you can see, the colors are here. It'll tell you what colors and what stitches you have for that color. So if you have the zigzag stitch, it also is just like this. It's a little bit tighter. And as well, this one's kind of medium. This one's a little bit wider. You have some that's a zigzag, but it gives stitches in between them, other than just going like this. It'll go, make the stitches like that. So this one's good if you're really wanting to put a real good zigzag durable stitch on there. This one's good if you don't have a serger, because it'll make some stitches for hemming and things of that nature, and you can use that for that. This one as well. This one you can use for multiple different things. Just let your experience be your guide. If you have a serger, in later videos we'll learn the serger and what the possibilities you could be using for that one. This one is the opposite of those. This one's kind of like it takes stitches and then it takes big ones, and it's just kind of like a little basting stitch, if you will. This one gives the opposite. to where you have the stitch first and then it goes down into the garment and gives it a little bit of a basting stitch or a hemming stitch, if you will. Okay, so what we have here, this one is your tension dial. This one controls how tight and how loose the upper tension is going to give for your threads up here. Now if you put something, if you put this one, I keep it on there for basting and quick stitching and stuff. So if I put this one on here, but yet over here it's going to be off, it's going to be kind of loose. So if your stitches are loose on top, then it's this one. But if it's loose on the bottom, then it's the other one. On the tension on the bobbin, and I'll show you that one in just a second. This one is a back stitch. This one, on most of them, you have some that are in different places. But if you're going to start out, go ahead and start on something like this. This one right here, 12 bucks on eBay some years ago. Love this one. I train a lot of people. Trained my oldest daughter on this. She does wonders on this machine. This one, you just, when you're sewing, you get your foot on the pedal and you're going to push this down and it's going to go backwards. Okay? Let up, it's going to continue to go forwards. The threads usually come in the back right here, and then there's a spot, I don't know if you can see it, I'll try to get over here, where you're able to see where the thread kind of hangs, and you're going to put that right there and then kind of wheel it over here, your thread, okay, bear with me here. And you're going to be able to thread this correctly. But your main thing is you want to do is practice a straight stitch. Get you a piece of paper. Draw you a circle, okay? Get a piece of paper, draw a circle, some straight lines. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, exact or anything, but if you can stay on that line on that piece of paper, but don't thread your machine. Keep your machine unthreaded. Go ahead and just run your machine and run that piece of paper on there and get an old needle, one that, you know, is old and, I mean, it wouldn't do any good for fabric. Go ahead and run that in there and take your time and practice on that. Now, if you'll see right here on basic machines, this right here is your foot plate. This right here has different dimensions, so when you put your fabric up against each one of these, it's going to have how much you're going to have on fabric to sew. So if you're going to go way over here, okay, on quilts and things like that, then your stitch is going to be here, but your fabric's going to be way over here. And so that's things you need to look at, you know. And it does give you the same allowance on this side. So if you're turned around the other way, left-handed, right-handed, just however, then you have some on this side as well, is what that's for. You want to keep this feed dog right here, is what this little thing is right here. You want to keep that clean, because that will hinder your cleaning, and it will hinder your sewing and stuff, and if there's stuff underneath there, you're not going to get a good stitch. I, over the years, have put stitching and stuff like that because I do so much different jobs for different customers. So along the way, we're going to learn all of that and everything. So this right here is your basic. This right here is your where your bobbin's going to go to, is going to fit on. Let me see if I can't get a bobbin for you so I can show you real quick. Bear with me here. And forgive me doing this with one hand. Okay, so like I'm going to have this bobbin and I want to thread it, and we're going to go through that, and this is just a quick review. And you're going to take this bobbin and you're going to stick it on this. Okay, you're going to turn it this way. Usually some machines are automatic and they have machines like here, but if you're going to start out, get something like this. It's like, I mean, super cheap, does the job. just learning how you need to do it. And then go ahead and do it right here. And then this right here is your wheel, your spin wheel. And this one pulls out. So when you pull this out, and then when you go, let me see if I can't make it go. See how that goes? And what that's going to do is when I wind that thread around this, and it's going to go in here, this right here is going to stop. So whenever you push this one out, okay, then this is going to stop, and it's going to keep that, and it's going to put all of it up here. So when you have this one, you go and you give it to probably, I say maybe so much. You don't want it to the very edge of these bobbins, because with these bobbins they tend to get too wound up and they don't like to work properly. So that's something. Get you enough on there where you know you can do a job or whatever, and then go ahead and then rewind it again, which is good. So that's what we have on the bobbin. And right here you have your wheel, because if you ever want to get your machine going, you can make this go up. And hold on, and I'll show you that in just a second.